But I already forgot. My name is Roger Craig Smith. I'm a voice actor. I've done most notable roles are Redfield from Resident Evil 5, Ezio Auditore from Assassin's Creed 2. Nice! Dedara from Naruto Shippuden, Hidate Marino, Dan, Raiga Kurosake, who's crazy, from Naruto, Shinji Hirako from Bleach, Nova from Bleach, Gilbert Gangsta Guilford from Code Geass. I was Runt in Chicken Little Ace in Action, the video game. Forge from Wolverine and the X-Men, the animated series. And your parents, or those of you who are of age to be getting married, would maybe know me from Say Yes to the Dress. I narrate that show on TNC. And on the DIY network, I narrate Yard Crashers, House Crashers, and soon to be Bath Crashers.
Nice.
Also currently Pizza Hut ad campaign. So if you've been watching TV and you're right now, any pizza, any size, any toppings, that's me. So that's basically what I do. That's why I'm here. Probably more for the Redfield+Ezio and dedara connection than anything else. As far as this panel goes, since I'm flying solo, I can just open it up to questions or comments, or there's something in my teeth since I just finished eating lunch.
Can you say dedara quote?
What's that?
Dedara quote?
I will do one quick dedara quote only because he yells it, so I'm only going to do it once.
Okay.
And because he screams, and I can't scream today too much. I've already been doing a lot of projection and whatnot. But dedara is a famous quote. Here it comes. Ready? Art is an explosion!
Nice.
And it's kind of anticlimactic to actually see me do it, right? Just a guy in a t-shirt and shorts, you know. No bangs, no cool outfit, just, you know, haven't shaved this morning. I probably spit out a little piece of bread while I did it. Really not that cool. See, that'd be cool. Yeah, or a giant clay bird or something like that. Any other questions, honestly? We'll just open it up, or don't be shy. You have a question? I've been, the question was, how long have I been doing this? I probably started, I want to say about 7 years ago, starting out. And I would say professionally for about the last 6. So about 5 or 6 years total of just doing this. But from the moment that I kind of started looking into it, yeah, let's see. 2003, I graduated from college in 2003. At the age of 27. And it took me a while to figure out life, you know? And while I was in film school, I had a guy help me with my first demo. So yeah, I would say like a total of 7 years, about 5 years professionally. So the question was what got me interested in it, and I was doing stand-up comedy while I was in college, and I would do lots of characters and voices in my act, and through doing that, a lot of people after shows would come up and ask me questions about, you know, hey, who represents you for voiceover or whatnot, and I was always like, oh, I never really thought that much about it. People were like, oh, you got a good voice, you should think about, you know, you should look into it, or are you a radio DJ, that kind of stuff. And then finally, I was actually trying out for the Aspen Comedy Festival, and there were 10 of us that were selected to perform this one night down in Irvine. And after the show, the audience was asked to leave, and then we all went back up on stage, and the woman that was there to evaluate us went like one by one and said, you know, hey, you know, I really like your stage presence, I like your, you know, they call it your voice, comedy, said, you know, what's your outlook on life, that kind of thing. And she went down the line and kept saying, hey, really like this, really like that, work on this, work on that. And she came to me and said, who represents you for voiceover? I was like, nobody. She said, oh, you should really look into it. I like your characters. And then she moved on. And that's all she said about my comedy. And I was like, well, what about my stand-up? Like, is that funny? Should I not be doing this? And I finally went, all right, what is this? Like, let me go and figure out what it is they're looking for. I got online and just started looking up. I think I called a couple different agencies and asked, you know, who do you guys recommend as far as schools? Because in the LA area, there's a lot of places that offer education in it. And so I just called around, did a little research online, and tried to figure out, you know, what was available. And ended up taking a class, and from there, at the time I was still going to college, and took a class and said, all right, I kind of get an idea of what's involved with this, and I guess I need a demo. So I paid a guy, I think I paid him like $50 to record me at one of the college's voiceover studios, reading magazine ads out loud. And went home and cut together the world's worst demo, and just put on a suit and tie, went around to all the places in my little hometown that had post-production facilities, and just opened the door and said, hey, could I, you know, I'm new, I'm cheap, you know, it's like, I just need time, I need to figure this out, and if you guys have anything available, you know, please consider me. And actually, to this day, I still work for 3 of those companies, so, yeah, it's neat. But that's how I got started. I just, you know, people were saying, hey, so we're going to do it, and then I was like, fine. I'll look into this. What is this? And then as soon as I got into it, I was like, man, this is great. I like absolutely love it. It's I can't imagine doing anything else at this point. I keep hoping to keep doing it.
Me too.
You usually work for business. I noticed that some voice actors seem to do Funimation, a lot of Funimation titles, some do Viz titles. What is that about?
You were asking if I officially work for Viz Media, which I think distributes all the Naruto stuff and a lot of other things as well.
Yeah, would you ever be a voice actor for a Funimation title?
It really, in that regard, I mean, so sometimes you'll get these situations where like they get comfortable knowing you, they know what you're capable of doing, they know your range, they know your sound, and then they will, when they're holding auditions, they've got a list of guys or girls that they know of that kind of capture what they're looking for, and they call everybody in. So that's why you kind of see recurring actors on a lot of the same projects done by the same companies. Very likely just due to the fact that, you know, they know, hey, Yuri Lowenthal, Liam O'Brien, all these guys, let's call those guys in, let's get them in, you know, in here. And there's other companies out there that I haven't even been exposed to yet. But no, as far as any specific company, to my knowledge, unless you were to sign something, I guess, the actor is independent in that, and it's just a matter of, do they know you? Yeah, exactly. That's the networking and all that kind of stuff. Anybody else? Yes. What was my favorite character? To date, right now, probably Ezio from Assassin's Creed 2. Just because that was such a neat, he's a very complex character, and he goes through a lot of different changes, and it was kind of strange for a video game, not strange, but ambitious for a video game to actually show a sort of aging process for Ezio. You can kind of go from when he's like late teens, then to like maybe late 20s, and then to like late 40s and beyond. And also this massive story arc that he goes through, where he was starting out, you know, as just sort of a young punk running around, you know, his hometown, and, you know, mixing up trouble and not a care in the world, and then bad stuff happens to his family without revealing everything if you haven't played the game. But bad stuff happens, and then he's learning, oh wow, I thought my father was just a banker, but it turns out he was something more. So there are all these elements to Ezio that made it a really, to say nothing of the accent and saying words in Italian, because big shocker, Roger Craig Smith is actually not a name of Italian descent. I know, who would have thought? And I've never spoken a word of Italian in my life. And so the game came with this challenge of working with a dialogue coach in the booth with me, not always in the booth with me, but whenever we, you know, when Ezio delivers the final assassination to somebody, he always says something and tries to teach them a life lesson before sending them on to the hereafter. And usually all that stuff is done in Italian. And I had, you know, it's like, I could look at it and go like, you know, Il Palazzo, Nay, you know, that did it. And so the dialect coach would come in there with me and actually sort of parrot the words and say it in Italian, perfect Italian. And then I would try to like wrap my brain around it, and we'd work on it a whole bunch of times, and it was like, all right, we rolling? Cool. We do it, we get it. And so it was a really invigorating and challenging kind of video game to work on. And in the end, I just think it's a really cool character. It's just, there's so many elements to him that kind of have you going, all right, this guy who didn't necessarily choose to do what he was doing, and it kind of learned as he was going, kind of thing. So he's like an onion, as they say, a lot of layers, and but just a ton of fun to play and challenging. I like, you know, it's neat when you get into the booth and you're kind of like, you know, all the synapses are trying to fire, and you're trying to remember, okay, I need to get the accent right, and get the inflection right, but also have it sound tough, but also, you know, have it not sound, you know, corny, and, you know, and, oh man, now he's going to say a bunch of words in Italian, like, how do I do that? So, yeah, in that regard, it's, you know, I feel bad because people are like,